Hello, Troop 46. I am Annika, your senior patrol leader, and welcome to our YouTube channel. This is our first video, so yay, applause for that. We are very excited for this. So, in these videos, I'm basically going to be going over things you need for requirements for your ranks. So you can learn them from me and be able to be tested on them as soon as we get back from this whole fiasco that's going on. So, we also will have other scouts email me videos or send me videos, and I will upload them up here too on how to pack things for camp, how to create a campfire, what to do when someone's first aid or whatever. So we're going to be doing a lot of things like that as well. So it's not going to just be rank stuff because that'd be a little bit boring, but it will be some other things too from other scouts as well. So today we're going to be going over 4 requirements. Each one is for a certain rank. So the first one is go over scout sign, salute, and handshake. That is for the scout rank. If you do not know those yet, I will be here to teach you in this video. So please stay tuned. Also, we're going to be going over the edge method, which is for Tenderfoot. The edge method is super easy to memorize, and I use it in literally whatever time I'm teaching someone something. This is what I use. We're going to explain appropriate uses of fire when cooking and when it's not appropriate to use a fire, and that's for a second class requirement. And then when you should and shouldn't use lashings. Now, that's for a first class requirement, and remember, you guys can get these all signed off as well. If you have a parent at home that is a scoutmaster or an assistant scoutmaster, you can get these signed off by them. So you don't have to necessarily get it signed off by me, but you can get it signed off by your scoutmaster at home. If you have a sibling that's a senior patrol leader or an assistant senior patrol leader, then you can also get those signed off too. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So today we're going to be going over the scout sign, salute, and handshake for the scout rank. So the scout sign, as you guys all know, is 3 fingers up and up like this. And make sure that it's at a 90-degree angle with your face. So we want to make sure that scout sign is pretty strong. The salute is the 3 fingers, but at the corner of your head. If you have a hat, it usually goes at the tip of your hat. It does not go to your head, it goes to this tip of your hat. And the handshake. So the handshake is, we shake with our left hand. So yeah, just we shake with our left hand. That's what we do as scouts. So yeah. So make sure you get those. So remember, the scout sign is 90-degree angle and 3 fingers up, and make sure that it's strong and that you're not like this or you're not like this, and that it's like this. All right. The salute is, remember, the 3 fingers again and up like this to the corner of your head. And if you have a hat, it'll be to the tip of your hat. So make sure you remember that. And the scout handshake is your left hand. It's not your right, it's your left. So whenever you go to scouting events or things like that, people are going to shake your left hand, and you're going to be wanting to shake with your right. Trust me, adults do it too. You're going to want to shake with your right, but make sure you shake with your left hand. Okay, so that's what we have for the scout rank today. And so now for the edge method for Tenderfoot. So the edge method is pretty easy, and once you go to Cedar Badge, NYLT, which are the training courses, they're going to go more deep into depth with the edge method, because it is a really important thing that we need to know growing up and in scouting. And you can use it outside of scouting too. I use it outside of scouting a lot, and it actually helps me become a better leader, a better teacher. So the edge method is it's an acronym. So the E stands for explain, the D stands for demonstrate, the G stands for guide, and the other E stands for enable. So if you were to write this down on a piece of paper, you would spell out edge, and then it would be first enable, second demonstrate, G guide, so third guide, and E enable. So we're going to go through what these mean. So explain. That's probably self-explanatory. Pun intended. That's probably self-explanatory. So explain. You're gonna teach them. You're gonna tell them what to do, how to do it in your words. And then the next one, demonstrate. You're gonna demonstrate and explain at the same time what you're doing. So you're gonna say you're trying to teach someone how to tie a square knot, which is for your requirement. You're going to do your square knot and explain it at the same time. So then it goes to guide. So now you're gonna give them the rope and you're gonna guide them and teach them for themselves how to do it. And then you're gonna enable, and you're not gonna say anything. You're gonna sit back and let them do it, and at the end tell them if they got it right or wrong, and if they got it wrong, help them go through it again and use it again. And it's a really great way for people to learn, and I really like using it because I feel like people actually understand what I'm saying if I'm using the edge method. So remember, it's edge. E, enable. No, sorry. Remember, it's edge. E, explain. D, demonstrate. G, guide. And E, enable. So remember to spell it out and use the acronyms. And I can also leave a link in the description below of the actual acronym. So I will have that for you guys in the description below. So now, we're moving on to appropriate uses of fire for second class requirement. I think this is second class requirement 2A. And the other ones, I'll give you guys those in the description because I forgot to mention them before. But, so we have, explain appropriate uses of a fire. So, appropriate uses of a fire. I mean, we've gone over this, y'all have your fireman shit, so we've gone over things like this. But when you're cooking, appropriate uses are when you have your propane and you're cooking on a stove. You don't want to have a fire that is not in a contained area, okay? So that's when you should not use a fire, is because it's not in a contained area, so it can spread. You want to make sure that you have a contained area. Even if you're starting a campfire, you want to make sure you have a contained area there too. You don't want the fire to be spreading and us starting a wildfire, because that is bad and we don't want that. And a scout is resourceful, and we really care about the environment, and you guys, we don't want that happening. So you want to make sure that the fire is contained, and when you're cooking, you want to only have it on a propane stove or a campfire. You don't want to have it in the middle of nowhere. You don't want to have dry areas. You don't want to have a tree above it either, because if you have a tree above it, that tree could catch fire and things like that. So you want to make sure you're as safe as possible. So basically that's it. And then so that's it. You want to make sure you always have water next to you, because you never know when that fire is going to get out of control. Even if it is contained, you want to make sure you always have water next to you, because you want to make sure if it does catch fire to anything else, you can just put it out pretty easily. So you want to make sure you are prepared, because a scout is prepared. Okay, so now we're going to go to first class requirement, which is when you should and shouldn't use lashings. Now let me flip through my book and tell you what requirement that is, because I forgot to write it down there. But that is requirement 3A. Okay, so when you should and shouldn't use lashings. Now, we've all used lashings before, whether you went on the camp out with us to Whitewater, or you were at that meeting where we did do lashings and we were preparing for camporee and things like that. You have done lashings before. Lashings are really fun, but you need to know when's appropriate to use them and when's not appropriate to use them. So basically, it's self-explanatory. It's appropriate to use them when you're putting two poles together, or when you're building a teepee or something. It's not appropriate to use them when you're trying to tie two things together. So when you're trying to tie two pieces of rope together, or you're trying to tie something to a tree, that's not appropriate to use lashings, because the lashings are used to construct things. They're not used to, and to have support. Lashings are not used to tie two things together or to keep something up on a tree. If you're gonna want to keep something on a tree, you want to use knots. You want to use knots that you learned that are also in your scout book, and you want to make sure that you have those in those and that they're safe and tight. You do not want to use lashings for that, because that's something totally different. What you do want to use lashings for is building things, good support, things for good support. So like teepees, tables, pull-up bars. I mean, you can really name it. Entrances, things like that to your camp out. You want to use those for those things and not for tying things to trees or tying things to other things, because those are what knots come in handy for. Okay, so I went over all of that. Those were all our rig requirements. I'll leave everything in the description below, so if you guys couldn't hear me or people were distracting you or whatever, it's all in the description below. I'm also going to be leaving the edge method below so that you guys can memorize it. It's also in your book, so look at requirement 2. No, I think it's requirement, I'll put it down. Wait. So look at requirement 8 in your Tenderfoot rank, and just memorize it. It's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. It's only 4 words, so yeah. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And you guys will see more faces on this channel, especially of our scouts, and we are really excited to open up this challenge just to get you guys connected and to keep working on your ranks. So yeah, have a nice day everybody, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that I messed up a lot, but yes. Okay, bye.